Nationalism is a powerful force. It unites people based on shared identity. This identity can be rooted in language, culture, or history. Nationalism has shaped the course of world history. It has led to the creation of new nations. It has fueled revolutions and wars. Understanding nationalism is crucial to understanding the past. It is also key to navigating the present and future. Nationalism creates a sense of belonging. It fosters solidarity among people. It motivates them to strive for a common goal. This goal is often self-determination, the right of a people to govern themselves. Throughout history, many groups have fought for their independence. They have sought to break free from colonial rule and forge their own destinies. India is a powerful example of this struggle. The seeds of Indian nationalism were sown long before the 20th century. India has a rich and diverse history. It boasts ancient civilizations and a tapestry of cultures. The arrival of the British East India Company in the 17th century marked a turning point. The company gradually expanded its control over India. It exploited its resources and subjugated its people. This foreign rule sowed the seeds of discontent. The Sepoy Mutiny of 1857 was a major uprising. It was sparked by controversial rifle cartridges greased with animal fat. This offended both Hindu and Muslim sepoys, who saw it as a religious violation. The mutiny was brutally suppressed by the British. However, it marked a turning point. It ignited the flames of nationalism. Indians began to realize the need for unity. They recognized the importance of self-rule. The early 20th century witnessed a surge in nationalist sentiment in India. Educated Indians, influenced by Western ideals, began demanding greater autonomy. They formed organizations to articulate their demands. The Indian National Congress, founded in 1885, became the leading voice of Indian nationalism. The Partition of Bengal in 1905 by Lord Curzon, the Viceroy of India, further fueled nationalist sentiments. The British claimed it was an administrative measure. However, Indians perceived it as an attempt to divide and rule. The partition sparked widespread protests and boycotts. This marked the beginning of a new era of mass-based nationalism. It laid the foundation for future movements. The arrival of Mahatma Gandhi on the Indian political scene in 1915 transformed the nationalist movement. Gandhi, deeply influenced by his experiences in South Africa, advocated for non-violent resistance, or Satyagraha. He believed in the power of truth and love to overcome oppression. His message resonated with millions of Indians. Gandhi's leadership galvanized the Indian masses. He led nationwide campaigns against British policies. These included the Rowlatt Act of 1919, which restricted civil liberties. The Jallianwala Bagh massacre in Amritsar the same year, where British troops fired upon unarmed civilians, further intensified the struggle for freedom. Gandhi's message of non-violent resistance provided a powerful tool to challenge British rule. Section 5. Non-cooperation and Satyagraha, challenging the British Empire. In 1920, Gandhi launched the non-cooperation movement. This called for a boycott of British goods, institutions, and laws. Millions of Indians participated. They refused to cooperate with the colonial government. Students left schools and colleges. Lawyers boycotted courts. The movement shook the foundations of British rule. The non-cooperation movement demonstrated the power of Satyagraha. It showed that even a powerful empire could be challenged through non-violent means. Although Gandhi called off the movement after the Chowri Chowra incident, where violence erupted, it marked a turning point in the struggle for independence. It instilled a new sense of confidence in the Indian people. Section 6. The Salt Satyagraha, a defining moment. In 1930, Gandhi launched the Salt Satyagraha, one of the most iconic movements in India's freedom struggle. The British government had imposed a salt tax which particularly hurt the poor. Gandhi saw this as an unjust law. He decided to challenge it. Gandhi embarked on a 240-mile march from his ashram in Sabarmati to the coastal town of Dandi. Thousands joined him along the way. Upon reaching Dandi, Gandhi defied the salt law by picking up a handful of salt. This simple act of defiance resonated throughout India. It sparked nationwide protests and mass arrests. The Salt Satyagraha captured the world's attention. It exposed the brutality of British rule and highlighted the justness of India's demand for freedoms. Section 7. Towards Freedom. The 1930s and the rise of new leaders. The 1930s witnessed a surge in nationalist activities. New leaders emerged, each with their own vision for India's future. Jawaharlal Nehru, a close associate of Gandhi, advocated for complete independence and socialist policies. Subhas Chandra Bose, a charismatic leader from Bengal, favored a more radical approach. He believed in achieving independence through armed struggle. The Government of India Act of 1935, which granted limited autonomy to Indians, failed to satisfy the aspirations of the nationalist movement. The demand for complete independence grew louder. The Muslim League, under the leadership of Muhammad Ali Jinnah, began demanding a separate Muslim state, further complicating the political landscape. Section 8. The Impact of World War II. A catalyst for change. The outbreak of World War II in 1939 had a profound impact on India's freedom struggle. The British government, without consulting Indian leaders, declared India's entry into the war. This angered the nationalist movement. The Congress Party offered conditional support for the war effort. It demanded a guarantee of independence in return. However, the British government refused to comply. The war years saw a rise in nationalist sentiment. Indians resented being dragged into a war they did not choose. The Cripps Mission in 1942, which offered dominion status to India after the war, failed to appease Indian leaders. The stage was set for a final showdown. Section 9. The Final Push for Independence. Quit India and its aftermath. In August 1942, the Congress Party launched the Quit India movement. This was a call for the immediate and unconditional withdrawal of British rule from India. Gandhi gave his famous "Do or Die" speech, urging Indians to fight for their freedom. The British government responded with brutal repression. It arrested thousands of Congress leaders, including Gandhi and Nehru. The Quit India movement, though suppressed, demonstrated the unwavering resolve of the Indian people. It made it clear that British rule in India was no longer tenable. Section 10. Independence and its legacy. India in 1947 and beyond. On August 15, 1947, India finally achieved its hard-fought independence. The joy of freedom was, however, overshadowed by the tragedy of partition. The Indian subcontinent was divided into two independent nations, India and Pakistan. This led to one of the largest mass migrations in human history, accompanied by communal violence and immense suffering. India's independence marked the end of an era. It also heralded the beginning of a new chapter in its long and glorious history. The newly independent nation faced numerous challenges, including poverty, illiteracy, and social divisions. However, India, guided by the principles of democracy and secularism, embarked on a path of development and progress. The legacy of India's freedom struggle continues to inspire people around the world. It stands as a testament to the power of non-violent resistance and the indomitable spirit of the human soul.